Hey everyone, Caront here, welcoming you back to Suikoden 5. In the last episode, we got to tour the castle. We got to learn a little bit more about Arshtad and Farid, got to meet the Queen's Knights, and got to meet our sister, Princess Lenslia, who is part of the entourage right now. She's not joining us in the party, but she is at least along for the ride in any case. In this episode, we're actually going to get to explore the city of Falenan proper. But to do that, we need to pick up some treasure and do a little bit of running around. The first treasure is over here, kind of over in the bushes. It is a scarf, which I'm going to go ahead and equip on Sialeeds because I think of all the characters, she's the one that really needs the defense the most. Not on top of that, though. There we go. That's better. Okay. Another treasure that we need to get is a little further down. Let's go over here and then go down these east stairs once again. But this time, instead of going straight, let's go under the archway. And we got a treasure kind of not really hiding exactly, but it's sitting over here next to the Senate Hall, and that is a Mega Medicine. Whether you go to the guards who are over here or the guards upstairs over more in the northeastern direction, when you try to go into the Senate Hall, you get a scene. His Highness! Her Highness! Lady Sialeeds! Why so many of you here at once? Is there some kind of emergency? Nah, we're just being nosy. That's right. Oh, I see. I wouldn't call it nosy, Princess. We're talking about your future husband here. Oh, right. Weird. Engagement. Future husband. It all seems like some foreign language to me. Oh, right, sorry. Well, as you probably overheard, we're on no official business whatsoever. Can we come in? Of course. Please proceed. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. Now, I mentioned that I usually come in upstairs, typically because we actually have to go upstairs in order to advance things, so really doesn't matter which entrance you go in, you're gonna have to go into this green door anyway. Princess? And Lady Sialeeds, and His Highness the Prince, too. Oh, there's no need for that, everybody. At ease, relax. Don't mind us, we're just passing through. Please, carry on. Yes, Lady Sialeeds. There aren't many people here today, are there? I heard the Senate is in recess because of the preparations for the Sacred Games. Guess most of the nobles are out on vacation. That just leaves a couple officials here and there. Well, one of them's gotta have the list. Let's find it and go home. Or hey, we could hang around here and gossip all day about who's backstabbing who. Nah, I think I'm good. I don't need to gossip about backstabbing anybody's. Alright, so in order to find the person that's going to move us forward at least a smidge, let's go through here, and it's this gentleman up here. Oh my, so many members of the royal family all together in a place like this. How unusual. Welcome. What's that? The list of applicants for the Sacred Games? I'm so sorry, Prince. The clerk in charge of the list is on break right now. I'll send someone down to bring them back right away. If you could just wait a moment, Your Highness. So, yeah, we get to play a waiting game. And unfortunately, that waiting game means we have to talk to every person in the Senate Hall. Yes, every single person. So, I'm going to move through the text pretty quickly for the most part. I will mention, though, pay attention to what this one says about the Barrows family with bargains with Armes, the new Armes kingdom, and the island nations, because both of those countries will come into play into this in slightly different fashions, ultimately. Okay, I like to go around and talk to the folks upstairs first, mostly because it gives me a good idea of who I've spoken to, and gives me a good idea of when I need to go downstairs and keep things in line there. Alright. No doubt he's hoping to position himself as the princess's guardian. Yeah, well, who knows. The games are only taking place now while the princess is still so young because Barrows pushed for it. Oh boy, the irony of that will become evident as we go along. Senate is assembled from the heads of major households. Solemn Barrows and Marskal Godwin. We will meet both of them in pretty short order. Alright, it's up to Her Majesty whether or not to act on the recommendations. But Her Majesty can't ignore the Senate. So essentially, the Senate here in Falena is a lot like the Senate of the Roman Republic. It didn't have any real judicial authority, so to speak, but it did have a lot of authority in terms of informing the king, and particularly informing the consuls, as to what to adopt. That became increasingly important to the running of the Roman Republic as time went on, and it ended up working out to some degree, I guess, to the good of Rome's history, but to other degrees not so much. Okay, I don't remember if there's anything. Alright, those doors aren't open to anybody. If nothing else, what you get when you're talking to everybody around here is a good sense of what's going on as far as politics. And of course, they mentioned the two major factions, the Godwin family, led by Marskal Godwin, and the Barrows family, led by Solemn Barrows. Then you also have the intrigues of other nations. You've got Armes, you've got the island nations, you've got basically a whole bunch of different groups. All sorts of folks trying to get in on this. It is worth noting that Farid won on his own right. And then led the Armes invasion 8 years ago. So, yeah, Farid has a lot to recommend him. Although apparently some of the nobles don't like that so much, which is understandable because Farid's kind of considered to be a little bit of almost a barbarian or something of that ilk. Alright, so we already know that we are going to Stormfist because of course Farid told us that. But it's mentioning that Stormfist was originally the capital city of the queendom. Although now, of course, the capital is in Sol Falena. Alright, Stormfist is Godwin territory. Yeah. Well, as you also can see, the Godwin family is not really one to be trifled with. Neither is the Barrows family either, ultimately. Okay, so there's nothing really to do on these doors either, so let's go ahead and go downstairs. Well, if it'll let me go downstairs, that is. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I like to run around and talk to everybody downstairs here before I go into this door, because this door is going to be an individual scene, and a fairly important one, so I want to talk to everybody else first. Technically, anyone can win, but the nobles can always afford the very best gladiators. Yeah, that's part of the issue. And there you go, the winner has almost always been a Godwin or a Barrows. It's easy to despise the nobility when you spend too much time in the Senate. Oh boy. But then again, the Godwins and Barrows are trouble, of course. Sure, you can ask us a favor. Could you recommend me for a transfer away? Oh boy. Well, yeah, you pretty much got the idea of politics there, buddy. Yap. Okay, let's see. I believe there actually are people we need to deal with somewhere up here, so let's make sure we don't miss anything as far as doors are concerned. Ah, here we go. I think these actually do have people in them. There we go. Hello. Can't be the beck and call of the nobility? Well, yeah, that's how you'd like it anyway. Of course, it's kind of the approach really everywhere. Bureaucracy is bureaucracy no matter what country you're in. And there's nobody in here. Nice. Alright, so, talk to you. Okay, here we go. This is important. The new Armes Kingdom is to the east of Falena. And he suffered, or Barrows suffered a lot in the Armes invasion 8 years ago. So this, of course, is a little bit, obviously, before the events of Suikoden 5, but to some degree it does kind of frame some of the things that we're going to see later. The Godwin's land is in the west, so they were relatively unscathed. Yeah, and there you go. Part of the issue is, essentially, it's a big power play. We're also going to see some other nations that haven't really been discussed yet come into play, at least to a slight degree, such as Nagarea, which is to the south, well, mostly the southwest of Falena. The Godwins would have more issues, really, with Nagarea than they would with Armes. Okay, now that we've talked to pretty much everybody else, let's go ahead and head in here to meet some interesting characters.
Oh, if it isn't the princess! A most fortuitous meeting, yes. And her Royal Highness Sire Leeds, and His Royal Highness the Prince! Oh, and I see Kyle is with you too! Oh, such a pleasure to run into so many people that I usually don't get a chance to see. Oh, yes, indeed. I, Solemn Borrows, am a very lucky man today, if I do say so myself. Yes. Oh, terribly sorry, sir. Indeed, I just got such a twinge of delight from seeing everyone. My, I do hope you can forgive me.
So, Lord Burrows, why have you graced us with your presence today? What business would bring a man of your stature all the way here? The Senate's in recess, after all.
A man of my stature? Oh no, oh my, you're far too kind. Indeed, though it's true I've been made the head of my faction, I'm little more than a glorified facilitator. And now that the Senate is out of session, I have to run about on little errands attending to trivial details.
Come on, Dad, hurry up. Let me say hello to the princess, too.
Ah, Yoram, my, sorry about that, son.
Greetings, everyone. I trust you are all well. I am Yoram Burrows, son of the great Solemn Burrows. Ah, fair princess, do you remember me, perchance?
Yes. We met a few times at the Sun Palace banquets, I think.
Oh, princess, you do remember me. My, I am truly the happiest man alive. And I, too, have never once, no, not for one day, no, not even for one moment, forgotten how you looked. And now, with the elegant object of my affection standing before me, oh, my heart is about to flutter away. Oh, princess, you are like a precious gem in the heavens that someone such as I could never ever hope to reach. But please, if you would just permit me to kiss that ever so lovely hand of yours,
That's more than enough of that. Mia Keys, where'd you come from?
Just in time.
The only gentlemen allowed to touch the princess are His Majesty Farid and His Royal Highness the Prince. If you still insist on doing so, you'd better be prepared for the consequences.
Consequences?
The waters of the Fatus River are really cold, you know.
I'm so sorry. Her beauty must have dazzled me so that I lost my wits. Please forgive me. But allow me this, your loveliness. Allow me to predict our future with all those present as our witnesses. I, Yoram Burrows, will someday be the third man to touch you. What are you talking about? Ha 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 ha! He speaks of the Sacred Games, Princess. He's one of the applicants, you see. I see. Fierce competitors will gather from all over the country, from beyond its borders even, but I do not fear them. In your name, Princess, victory shall be mine. Wow, you, must be stronger than you look. Can you really, swing a sword? Ha ha ha! Her Highness jests. A sword? Me? I'm no barbarian. We have found a mighty champion. He shall carve my way to your heart. My heart's got no place for a wimp like you. Wimp? What? Your Royal Highness. You want to be my husband? Why don't you earn the right yourself like my father did? Hey, Lim, I understand how you feel, but it's a long-standing tradition that one may have a representative compete in the tournament for him. Huh. Otherwise, noble Falena's royal family would be filled with barbarians who were good at only one thing: fighting. Not to call His Majesty Farid a barbarian by any means. Please don't misunderstand me. Princess, there's no need for such animosity. When Yoram wins your hand, we'll be the ones supporting you, backing you. You and I shall be allies. I'm sure you know of Her Majesty's difficulties with the Godwin faction. I'm a senator too, you know. And let us not mince words, Lord Godwin is a bloodthirsty maniac. He thinks only of wringing more taxes from the people, expanding our army, suppressing rebellion. And he would subjugate our neighbors with the Sun Rune itself, Use it to rule the world. If we cannot hold back his lunacy, our enemies will multiply here and abroad. Falenan will fall apart. But together, you and I can stem the tide of his madness. But that's only if Urim's champion can win the games. We understand each other then. Oh my, I must be getting old. All this rambling. You must all be so weary of me. I shall take my leave then. So Kyle, young man, we expect great things from you. Yeah, thanks. Princess, we shall meet again, for such is our destiny. Bye-bye, Barrows. Oh, I'm so tired all of a sudden. Sir Kyle, young man, what are we, best buds? That old man's too glib for his own good. Freador, Lim, what did you think? It doesn't really matter what you say here, but I'm gonna go with my gut and go, I can't quite trust him. Me neither. He's too slick. He must have rehearsed that whole thing. He didn't mean a word of it. He just wants to use me, that's all. Well, if you're that sharp, we shouldn't have to worry about him. Really? But what if that boy's fighter wins the competition? Don't jinx it, Miyakis! But she's right, isn't she? If Urim wins, he'll be the next commander of the Queen's Knights after Farad. If that happens, I'm out. No way I'm serving under that guy. Let's just hope someone else out there steps up and wins the games. Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk to these guys up here, because I do think they count toward the talk to everybody bit. Or, okay, why can't you show us? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, fair enough. Kind of sounds like modern day politics, actually, now that you mention it. Let's see. Hello there. Alright, well, we haven't met any goblins yet, but... Oh, well, pretty much exactly what Lord Barrows was talking about. Oh, yeah, sure you were. Yeah, you keep on saying that. Okay, hello you. And why would that be, madame? Madame? No, my man, sorry. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yep, and you got that too. Oh boy. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Even though the Senate is supposedly a body with no force of law, they are sitting here talking about Arshot having to do an awful lot to please them, so yeah. Also, yeah, Lord Lake is definitely not in good shape. We've seen it ourselves. Oh boy. Okay, so, well, I think that should pretty much be the measure of basically everybody. So now that we've done that, we can finally go back up here and talk to List Guy, who should hopefully have everything in line. We hope. I think it should be good, though, now that we've seen that scene and talked to everybody. Oh, Your Highness! The clerk in charge of the list is finally back! Please, go on inside. Okay. Let's see who's on the list. Good heavens! The Princess, and Lady Sialeeds, and His Highness the Prince, too! I'm so very sorry to have kept you waiting, Your Highness. No worries. This first choice doesn't really matter. The next choice, though, is going to, so I guess I'll be more apologetic. Hear that, Miyakis? Yeah, we really should have been more considerate. Except when you had a dagger pointed at Urim Barrow's throat. Leon, what were you thinking? What? Me? Miyakis, be nice. Listen to your princess, Miyakis. Right. I hope we're not interrupting anything. Can we just see it, please? Yes, Lady Sialeeds. Yes, Your Highness, right away. Whoa, quite a few of them. Huh, let's have a look. How many entrants are there in all? Well, let's see. We have about 70 applications here. Wowee. And if you choose this option, it actually reduces Lim's love for you, so choose only 70. Well, technically, we had over 300 to start with. Minus the ex-cons, minus the men from enemy countries, minus those with no martial arts experience. Whoa, you're really popular, aren't you, Princess? Huh, but is that really a good thing? I mean, what if they're all like Urambaros? Don't worry, Princess. He's one of a kind if you ask me. After the final screening process and the royal family's approval, wow, dang, the final number of competitors ought to be about 30. So what kind of suckers, brave warriors do we have? Ah, Kyle. An ex-Dragon Cavalry soldier, a Lindworm mercenary, and even a disciple of Master Haya from Konikon. Wow, what an amazing lineup! Oh. So he applied too, huh? Anything wrong, Lady Sialeeds? Nah, I just found a name that brings back a few memories, that's all. See, Gazelle Godwin, Lord Godwin's son. Oh! Lady Sialeeds. My ex-fiancé wants to marry my niece. This'll be awkward. Fiancé? Oh, right. You were little back then. What, you didn't know either, Leon? It's the first I've heard of it. But I thought the last Sacred Games were 16 years ago. They were, but those were for Arshtot, not me. She was the one in line for the throne. I didn't get any games. Oh. Anyway, it's ancient history. Let's not get all flustered over some petty political matchup from years ago. Besides, we were the ones who called it off. It wouldn't have worked out. I've seen Gazelle Godwin once or twice at banquets. He looked, well, much better than Urambaros at least. Huh, him and Aunt Sialeeds, huh? I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm telling you it really doesn't matter anymore. Don't worry about it, okay? So, who's the man to beat this time? Pardon, Lady Sialeeds? I really couldn't say, Your Highness. Probably either Gazelle or Urim. They can both afford really strong champions. You never know, some commoner might come out of nowhere and save the day. Yeah, just like Ferret did. We'll find out when it happens. Remember what happened at the last Sacred Games? Everyone thought the finalists would be Godwin and Barrows, and then boom! Along came Ferret. Exciting, eh, Princess? I don't know. It still feels like it doesn't have anything to do with me. Like something out of a storybook. Thanks. I hope we didn't bother you too much. No, Lady Sialeeds, it was our pleasure. No bother at all. When the list is officially complete, we'll bring it to the Sun Palace right away. Good. Please do that. Yes, Your Highness. Sorry, I skipped that a smidge fast. Okay, so, finally, we're done with all that. I kind of find it a little, I don't know, a little too involved, I think, especially as far as having to talk to everybody is concerned. I think the game did this so that you could get a taste of the political history of everything going on here, but I still find that to be a little too involved for my taste. Alright, so, now that we're outside... Is it that time already? Princess, you should get back to your room. It's time for your afternoon studies. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, the best choice, although the best choice for her in the long run would be this one, the best choice to keep her affection is, why don't you take the day off? I wish she could too, but... Queen... Aha! So even you're afraid of Arshtot the way she is now, huh, Lim? I'm not afraid of her. Mother's strict with me. That's natural. If I don't study really, really hard, I won't ever be the queen she is. Freador, I want to stay with you, but it looks like I've got to be a princess. Please come see me when you can. Every second you're away. You'll see him at dinner. Don't be such a drama queen. Why do you always do that, Auntie? Why do you always ruin the mood? Come on, Miyakis. Yes, Princess. See you later, Prince. Oh, alright, and the music kicks back up. I guess I'll go back too and get some more sleep. Sweet dreams, Lady Sileads. Yeah, good night. And, alright, let's go ahead and kick them all out of the party. Prince, what do you want to do now? Well, this question doesn't really matter, or this choice doesn't really matter too much, so let's just say go to town. That's a good idea. I'll come along. I've got an idea. Let's check out that new rune shop. You heard about the owner? Everybody's saying she's gorgeous. You want to check her out too, don't you, Prince? Sure. Well, either choice doesn't really matter, but let's go with not really. But Prince, your obligation as a prince is to inspect the land and its citizens, isn't it? Kyle, the prince said he's not interested, so don't try to force him. Leon, this is a necessary step in the prince's growth into manhood. Jeez, cut it out already. Oh, I give up. Let's go and get this over with. Alright, now that everybody's in agreement, let's go, Prince. Well, alrighty, so we get to make our way to Falenan proper. To the city itself, actually. But we're gonna do that next time on Suikoden 5. So, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see y'all later.